Welcome to your Conscious Choices for Wellness podcast, hosted by B. Crutelli. This is a space for everyone to learn anything and everything related to healthy healing, including naturopathic medicine, music, dance, yoga, meditation, eco-fashion, mothering, and organic lifestyle choices. Topics for expanding universal consciousness. Come join me weekly as we delve in and begin this journey, sharing valuable content gathered over the past 3 decades, helping to support a healthier and more sustainable future for all. Hello and welcome to Conscious Choices for Wellness podcast. This is a special podcast that I try to create every week. It's my creative outlet as a mother, empty nested mother of 4. I am turning 52 very, very soon. So I have officially entered my 50s and I need to embrace that, which I'm trying to. And I talk about anything and everything related to holistic wellness and healing for the planet at large. It is a passion of mine. It has been pretty much my entire life since I knew anything about what I wanted to do in life. And I love helping anybody out there that wants to heal naturally with plant medicine, and who also cares about healing the earth. And so I believe these things go hand in hand. And I have dedicated myself to doing this podcast because it helps me to express myself. And it actually helps me to do something routinely too, and to keep on track and to gain my voice so that maybe someday I can speak publicly without having fear around that. And today I will be talking about psilocybin as medicine for healing pain. Many of you have heard of psilocybin, or maybe referred to it as magic mushrooms or shrooms or, hallucinogenics in general. But I don't have a doubt that other hallucinogenic medicines, entheogens, which I've discussed some, do have similar effects to what I will be discussing today. But this is specifically around psilocybin or psilocin. Psilocin is the active component that is in magic mushrooms. I will just refer to them probably as shrooms. So human pain is real. And why this is a passionate topic for me to discuss, because I only talk about things that I'm passionate about and I truly believe in, and they're well-researched information that I'm giving you. And I make sure that my data is real and that it is not made up. It's got science backed, and otherwise it is from personal experience or, others that I know that have had experience. That I wanted to dive into this because, human pain is very fucking real. And there are way too many of us that are struggling with chronic pain in this world. And so I know it's a really big and broad topic, and it's a topic that really strikes me very, very much so on a personal level. I have been experiencing my own chronic pain for many years in a few different ways in my body. And the first time I knew that I had chronic pain was back in my 30s, probably mid 30s. And it was when I had fallen, and it took me months and months, actually years. I'm remembering now that the pain actually never really got better until like years and years later. It would get better during the summer months, and then it would get worse. And I think a lot of people can relate to this, where when the weather is colder or more damp, our pain can get worse. And are reasons around that, which I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole today. But that was from a fall that happened when I had two falls holding my baby. No, 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 no. This was the one fall where I was holding my baby, my last child, who's now 17, but she was a baby, an infant, not even walking, I don't think at the time, or she was just learning to walk. But this was in the middle of the night. I'm holding her, walking down these stairs that were quite dangerous in this house I was living in, these wooden stairs in this old house, and I slipped. And of course, you're not going to drop your baby, so you're holding your child close to you, and you just have to fall however you fall. And I fell right on my hip, and I swear I bruised my hip so badly. The worst bruise you've ever had in your life, right? Had a lot of bad bruises from snowboarding and whatnot, years before, but this was like a bruise like no other. And for some reason, maybe because I was breastfeeding and I didn't have the proper nutrients in my body at the time, I also was not getting the collagen and stuff that I needed to repair, and probably enough of the good protein that I needed as well. Now that I look back, my diet was, I thought it was good. It was organic, and, it was a vegetarian diet though. And I probably wasn't getting enough protein to heal. And so I ended up with a lot of scar tissue, and scar tissue can create a lot of pain. So I had pain for years and years and years until I finally was able to heal that. And then after, all my moves I've done, going into my probably 32nd move right around the corner here, that just breaks down your body. If you're someone that has moved chronically over the years with a lot of heavy load, your body is going to take a toll on that. It's hard to always remember how to lift every box that's heavy the proper way, or it's just, there's so much going on that moving day that you're going to do something wrong and you're going to end up injuring yourself. And let me tell you, if you've done it over 30 times in 30 years, there's going to be injury. So with that, combined with snowboarding falls, combined with falling on ice, after I fell down the stairs with my child, I fell on ice pretty bad just walking outside in Nevada City one wintry day. Also on my tailbone that sticks out and has my entire life. I have a tilted pelvis, so my coccyx sticks out. And if I fall down on my backside, it's a lot easier for it to get hit. And I actually fractured it once the last time I went snowboarding. And so, unfortunately, I decided I shouldn't go snowboarding anymore because there's just too much risk. So I have dealt with a lot of chronic pain through all of these things, not to mention being rear-ended a few times. Once pretty badly a couple of years ago, hit the back of my head really hard and experienced neck pain like I've never experienced before, that I'm still dealing with on and off to this day, 2 years later, or maybe it's been 3 years now. Anyways, chronic pain is real, and there's so many different ways that it can happen. So we've all experienced the onset of sudden pain from a young age. Most likely this trauma will be acute for a moment in time, lasting a few months. In the worst cases, a broken bone or a broken heart, right? We feel that pain and we have to get through it. And it takes usually a couple of months, then we start feeling better. Where chronic pain is something that you're still feeling 3+ months later, and it just never seems to really completely go away. So chronic pain is much different and complex. This pain runs deeper within and is still being researched to this day, right? We're still trying to figure out what this chronic pain is all about, because there's many, many doctors out there that can't figure out what the fuck's going on with you. And you run from one specialist to another, and you're just, paying so much money to try to figure out how to heal your pain, because we know that pain is like the worst thing to go through. It's just like suffering, right? And it distracts you from life. It distracts you from the things that you enjoy. Chronic pain is more common, I found out, than diabetes, heart disease, and cancer combined. These quote unquote diseases are fatal, where being in constant pain somewhere in your body brings feelings of despair, anger, anxiety, leading into substance abuse addiction for many that need relief and don't know any other way. Unfortunately, all the prescribed and over-the-counter medications are toxic and will lead to deadly side effects in the long term. This is my known perception from experience and learned knowledge. We are reaching far beyond a time where damaging addictive drugs have taken hold of our society. Over 20% of Americans are now dealing with chronic pain. That's about 51.6 million Americans alone are dealing with chronic pain. I did not know that until I did some research, okay? So that's an effing lot of people. Slowly and finally, we are waking up to this Earth's medicine that I'm here to talk about. And it's really the next promising plant medicine revolution that's happening. It started already for the healing of our ailments, like cannabis was for decades, until finally settling in to being popular enough to be recognized as medicine by all. I'm excited for this phase of natural medicine, especially the ongoing discovery of potential pain relief that comes from entheogens as a whole. And here I am focusing on psilocin from magic mushrooms, aka shrooms. How quickly these little species rose to the occasion after the canna boom was intact and widely legalized. Today, worldwide research is being discovered on the vast benefits of psilocin offers us. Some might say psilocybin, but I'm saying more psilocin because psilocin is really the active component that is doing the healing. Okay, psilocybin has to be converted into psilocin, and magic mushrooms will have both of these substances. There'll be more psilocybin at first, but then when your body converts it, or maybe if you make a tea out of it first before consuming it, you're already, helping to convert it and to make it more bioavailable for the body to absorb and to activate the psilocin. And that is what's created in the body from the shroom's naturally occurring main component, psilocybin. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Psilocybin is the stable, naturally abundant precursor for psilocin, the psychoactive compound responsible for therapeutic and psychedelic effects. Both compounds exist, in the magic mushrooms, but psilocin does the medicinal work like mood elevation and pain relief. It acts as a serotonin receptor agonist, primarily affecting the 5-HT2A receptor in the brain, which is thought to be the primary mechanism for its hallucinogenic effects. Multiple neurotransmitter systems have been considered to participate in the modulation of the transmissions, process, and the control of pain. Serotonin is a monoamine which distributes widely in the nervous system. In the brain and spinal cord, serotonin is presented through its own specialized neurons. And as a neurotransmitter, serotonin participates in the adjustment of pain, sleep, mood, and so on. We've all heard of serotonin by now, right? So serotonin is very much activated when we take magic mushrooms, even in microdoses. We're helping our serotonin uptake. So that's, why we kind of feel this little bit of, like euphoric, space in our brain, and we feel better. And also when there's a serotonin uptake, we will feel better overall. Our pain, we just won't notice our pain as much. So that's what I'm about to talk about. psilocybin converted to psilocin in the body binds to the 5-HT-HTA receptors in both the spinal cord and the brain, altering how pain signals are processed. This may offer both immediate and long-term analgesic relief, anti-inflammatory effects independent of its psychedelic effects. Research is showing that this component may promote neuroplasticity, strengthening neural pathways that enhance pain resilience over time. There's much talk about neuroplasticity right now, how important it is, how it's going to help our brains to stay younger, how it's going to help us recover through the traumas that we've been through. And we really need to strengthen these neural pathways and promote the neuroplasticity in our brains so that our brains can be healthier long term. And chronic pain is a common problem in clinical treatment programs. It was reported that about 1/5 of patients suffering from chronic pain were considered to be neuropathic pain. And the incidence of neuropathic pain is high, and patients suffering from chronic pain are often accompanied by depression, anxiety, negative emotions, memory loss, sleep disorders, etc., thus seriously having an effect on one's workability and lowering their quality of life. Yes, I know that at hand. Recent systemic reviews and scoping studies have confirmed promise for psilocybin in certain headache disorders and neuropathic pain. In 2024, a case report detailed a patient with CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome, undergoing psilocybin dosing sessions plus movement therapies. At 1 month follow-up, pain rated had dropped from 4 out of 10 to 0 to 1 out of 10, including reductions in mood, symptoms, and fall risk. Okay, these are different clinical trials that I'm going to give you now because, this is only a few, and I'm just giving you an example, just a brief synopsis of how much this is proven to be helping people with their pain. There's a whole article, I believe, written. I'm going to link everything that I'm talking to, the links to the different articles. Anything that's mentioned here will be in the show notes. And there's this whole article, I believe this was in The Guardian, written about cluster headaches. And I've heard of cluster headaches before. And there are a number of people around the world that get these, and their doctors just don't know how to deal with it. They just think it's like a migraine or, some other kind of headache. But cluster headaches, I guess, are very specific and different, even like more heftier and more intense than even migraines can be. And I know how much migraines can really hinder the quality of life and can be like the worst headache ever. But I guess cluster headaches are just even way worse than a migraine. And people are getting relief with cluster headaches. And people have this whole group out there. I can't remember what it's called right now, but it'll be in the article from The Guardian, where they, tried to find support of other people that were dealing with this online. So now there's a group, and they were all reaching out to each other, what was helping for each, because people are like suicidal because this is like so bad and it's like ruining their lives, and they don't have any answers. So someone found out that magic mushrooms helped them, and then another person took it, and another person, and now there's all these people that are like, yeah, this fucking helps me. So these sufferers from these cluster headaches were reporting reduced attack frequency using a plus regimen of psilocybin, which is 3 doses spaced out over 5 days apart, in an RCT, which is a randomized controlled trial study extension. And though statistical power was limited, the chronic pain participants showed sustained decreases in attacks. Scientists suspect that the chemical reaction occurring through the 5-HT receptors with psilocin is playing a part in rewiring one's circadian rhythm in a way that no existing medications can, preventing pain cycles long term. Your circadian rhythm is your body's rhythm, its natural rhythm that it has internally with light, dark, sleep, awake. Like, it's very important to have this rhythm working properly, because if it's not, then you're not going to be able to sleep well, and it's going to affect your whole quality of life. So even a microdose, they found, had worked for some patients. And it'll probably take the rest of my career. This is what one scientist said, quote unquote, it'll probably take the rest of my career to find out how this is working. But it is. And here's another quote from a medical doctor and a PhD saying that these results raise the exciting possibility that psilocybin may help the brain repair itself. Wow. The 5-HT2A receptors are found throughout areas of the brain and spinal cord that process pain. The psychedelic activation reduces the brain's suffering response to pain. These are some key points here. It changes how the brain interprets pain, making it less emotionally distressing. Okay, that makes sense. And just think about this. The pain might still be there, but it doesn't hurt in the same intense way anymore. So regardless, it's more manageable. Patients who took psilocybin reported dramatic reductions in the severity of their pain, between 50 to 75% less pain. The effect of that reduction got stronger the further away they got from the dose that they took, which is very interesting. I think that's very interesting. It's quite the contrary to opiate medications, where the further away you get, the more the pain is coming back already, right? And then the more you have to take of that prescription or that street drug or wherever you got that opioid that you're addicted to. It's like, it's just crazy, and then you're taking more than your body can handle. And then all of a sudden you're dead one day because you OD'd. I love that there's just natural ways for people to heal that are out there, and that it's becoming more widespread. That makes me have hope. In a small randomized control trial led by UCSD, 5 amputees, meaning that they had a limb severed off, received psilocybin, and 4 received niacin. Results were promising. The psilocybin group led to dramatic reductions in phantom limb pain. Researchers theorize the relief stems from reframing trauma-related brain patterns via psychedelic insights. So, yeah, that makes sense, right? Because a lot of our pain is from trauma. It's from, emotional stuff, from traumas we've had in our life that's stuck in the body. And when we have psychedelic insights, if we're in the right set and setting, and we have a good trip and not a bad trip, you need to do this medicine in the right way, then you are releasing. You're reframing your mind. You're getting a different perspective, and you're letting go, and you're releasing some of that crap that's been stuck inside for so long. And of course, then that is going to help your pain as well. If your pain could just be stuck emotions, right? A lot of pain is. In a 2023 microdosing study, 3 individuals with chronic neuropathic pain reported robust pain relief at subhallucinogenic doses, with improved outcomes when paired with functional movement. Relief lasted longer with repeated dosing, suggesting cumulative neuroplastic benefits. Clinical trials are ongoing in many institutions, including Johns Hopkins, for chronic conditions, including fibromyalgia, low back pain with co-occurring depression, migraine and cluster headaches, and even cancer-related pain. In a large survey of 466 adults who self-treated chronic pain with psychedelics, psilocybin was rated most effective for physical and mental health symptoms. Many users also reduced or stopped prescription opioids, alcohol, or other substances afterwards. Well, that's good news. Agonists of the 5-HT2A receptor are suggested to be capable of producing a long-lasting therapeutic effect in depressive disorders by leading to the increase in the neuronal growth of the anterior structures of the brain, such as in the prefrontal cortex. Enhanced and synaptic connectivity in key brain regions are involved in pain processing. So each of these points, just, think about it. It's like explaining how this process works. Okay. The 5-HT plays a crucial role in the process and adjustment of pain, both centrally and peripherally in the nervous system of the body. The therapeutic action of the 5-HT receptors, the agonist and the antagonist in neuropathic pain, have been widely reported in many studies. Okay. This is why when this key receptor gets activated by a substance that has little, if any, negative side effects, then and only then is it truly a miracle medicine. Magical, right? Truly, these are magic mushrooms. And, there was probably humans walking this earth, this planet, centuries ago, from the beginning of time, that this medicine has been here forever, that knew. And I believe strongly that everything we need grows from the earth somewhere. Somewhere on the planet it's here. If it hasn't been destroyed, a lot of it has been, but hopefully we can still find it, or we can make it ourselves in our own homes with resources that we have. Psilocybin shrooms are here for us to consume as needed without needing any man-made laboratory to find the answers to healing. So I truly believe this, and I'm so glad that it's also good for pain management, because that is something that I have been dealing with for years. And honestly, I'm going to admit that I have been microdosing on a regular basis, about once a week. Usually, like on a Saturday, I will take my microdose, and I don't feel much. Microdosing is, very safe. I don't want to say it's like, drinking a glass of wine, because it's completely different, but it's something that you would still be able to like operate a vehicle, but it's like subtle medicine, and it really does help change your perspective and gets you out of it. It's like giving yourself an ego death. It gets you out of your head and your mind and changes your outlook on life. And also, what I have to say is I have noticed that even just that microdose, I don't feel my pain. It's like I feel it differently. I can still tell that it's there, but it's not the same. It's like it just doesn't really bother me on the same level. And I believe because of these things I've discussed here, it has to do with how it's working on the brain and, how it's like changing our perception and our outlook, and, just so many other things that they're about to discover about it. But this is just a little bit that I found. There's about 5 different publications I'm going to post in the show notes. If you want to read any of those fully, they will be there, all the links. And I thank you so much for being here today. I love and appreciate all of you. And until next time, next week I'm taking off because it's my birthday weekend. And so I will be skipping a week. And the following week, I will be in Los Angeles visiting my son, and I will do the podcast from LA. And I'm not sure what it will be about. If you have any suggestions, please let me know. But I really do appreciate you being here. Please drop a comment. Please drop a like. But you can listen on YouTube, on Spotify, on Apple. I hope you have a beautiful week and a great end of July going into August. Please stay strong. Remember to breathe deeply and try to meditate a little bit every day. We really all need that right now. It's going to help this world to be better. Until then, peace out. Time will go by fast. Thank you all so very much for listening today. I genuinely hope that you learned something, and I invite you to join me each week so you never miss a conscious wellness beat. This podcast holds a special place in my heart dedicated to my evolution here, my passionate mission to spread more consciousness for the much needed wellness on Earth. Come join me as a guest as well. Let's collaborate, making change for future generations.